Well, let's go get killed by the council then. There's the boat. Oh, I did find out what was in here. Friendly serviles. Pull the lever. There we go. Well, I'm pretty powerful, but I doubt I'm strong enough to stand up to the council. Oh, Greta. It's been nice knowing you. I'm sure this is just the ending cutscene. Return to the mainland! You have a very pleasant surprise. There is a boat at the end of this dock, and just finding a boat is rare enough. Oh yeah, I already read this. The rebels have captured it somehow. It's not only a simple and beautifully made craft, but also charged with essence and partly alive. Even one with negligible skill piloting a watercraft, such as you, would have little difficulty piloting it back to Terrestria. It's your decision. Is it time for your adventures on the Ashen Isles to end and for you to return to join the war on the mainland? I do believe it is, because I did what I intended to do in plunging into the Monastery of Broken Tears, or whatever it is, and killing the uber monster in there. So let's go. Can't help but smile as you step onto the boat. You have done much, learned much, seen much, but the Ashen Isles are too small a place for what you have become. It's time to return to the mainland and see what's happening there, and to take part. Ooh, it's a fish boat. You step onto the boat, and despite the rough water, the craft is steady under your feet. You can sense the essence and enchantment in the wood. This boat will carry you safely to your destination. Begin the journey with great unease. You are, after all, a rebel against the Shapers, delivering yourself into their hands. Perhaps the rebellion is only isolated to these tiny islands, and you are facing your doom, but it's a step that must be taken. You soon realize that Greta has not joined you on the deck. You turn and see her on the dock. She bows to you and says, "Shaper, I wish I could continue to fight by your side, but I'm going to stay here. The creations have so much work to do here, building a new army, setting up a capital, and I have grown fond of these islands. Despite all we've endured here, I would like to stay here for a while. And to be honest, I think the rebels could use a calm influence to help them maintain sanity in the middle of their rage. I wish you safe travels, and please wish me luck too." Then she turns and goes off to fight her own war. Then you set sail. The boat came with provisions, so you begin a swift 3-day journey to Terrestria. I like those... Oh dear, look at that bird shooting. Late on the second night of your journey, you lie on your back and look at the stars. The craft requires a little effort on your part to maneuver. More evidence of the skill of the Shapers. You hold up your hand and look at it. It glows gently in the darkness, and a feeling rises in you, unbidden. It is pride and overwhelming satisfaction. You are brave. You let yourself be altered by the wonders on the island. You have changed. You have become something stronger, something better than ordinary mortals. If the Shapers, with their outdated laws, do not see that, you will feel you will have to make them see. If I brought my creations, perhaps I could. Although without Greta's lightning spam, it might be difficult. And then, finally, you can see the mainland of Porifa, the city you have been aiming for, and you see instantly that when the rebels spoke of destruction on the mainland, they were not just boasting. Terrestria is the less settled of the two Shaper continents. Porifra was one of the larger cities there. Over 50,000 humans lived there, with many serviles and other creations, and it has been destroyed. The chaos of the city does not seem a wise place for you to land, especially with the rogues have no way to recognize that you are on their side. You steer the boat and land on a calmer part of the shore a few miles away from town. Alas, the Shaper forces in this area have not been entirely routed. You soon find a large patrol of them. As telling the Shapers that their cause is lost is part of your mission, you allow them to quickly escort you to their camp. The Shaper army is a mess. They have suffered heavy casualties, dead and wounded, in their feudal defense of Porifa. In your brief walk through camp, you easily detect the panic, chaos, and disintegrating morale. They are saddened by the destruction of the school, but after what happened to Porifa, they are not surprised. They don't ask many questions about Latalia, though, as they are correctly suspect they will hear more about her. They are very eager to hear what has been happening on the Ashen Isles, and more importantly, whether they can get reinforcements. As you enter the Shaper looks at you intently, and can see you've been changed, but he neglects to mention it for now. You tell them about the rogues that infested Harmony Island. Again, they are not surprised. Apparently they had similar problems around Porifa before the main rogue army attacked. You tell them about the rebellion and how you assisted it by giving Latalia's canister. The Triad looks at each other, alarmed. They clearly can't understand how even a young, inexperienced Shaper might aid in such a rebellion. Then you begin to tell them of Donald's Isle, Lord Rahul, and the troubles there. They listen to this part of the story intently, as most of the forces they hope to bring to their aid are on that large island. When you tell them how you repaired the Creator, dooming the island to a flood of horrible rogues, they look at each other very concerned. It only slowly begins to dawn on them what you are, what you have done to their cause. You tell them about Gull Island. They are understandably shocked by the state of the island, and how Agatha allowed everything to slip so far out of control. When you tell them how you killed Kyric, they are stunned. The Guardian, who apparently knew Kyric from before, says, "I know his views were unusual, but he didn't have to die, did he?" But this is a side issue. They want to know more about the rebels, and finally you tell them the Isle of Spears. They lean forward and listen intently as you tell them about the hidden rebel fortress there. You describe the huge monstrous creations, the Dracons, and Benary O. You tell them of Latalia again. Finally you describe Akari Blaze and the Geneforge. You tell them of the Dracon's glorious creation, with its ability to help them remake themselves, becoming more powerful with every passing generation. Something about your tone worries them. Then, as they listen, barely able to believe their ears, you describe the death of Lord Rahul. You tell them of the completion of the Geneforge, and of Akari Blaze's ascent and purification. They look at each other, only now realizing what you've done. They ask you for more details. They try to get you to say exactly where the Geneforge is, or how it works. You don't even tell them the little you know. Your mission is complete. And then, your tale told, they lean together, they speak with each other, talking in frantic whispers. They have to decide what to do with you, so they can return to dealing with the rogue army. The Triad turns back to you. "Young one," the Shaper says, "you are a fool. You share in the foolishness of the rebels. They are mad to think that we would ever be cowed into surrendering. Ever. From all over Terrestria we have had grim reports. The Dracons, the Eye-Beasts, the rogues of all description. They are everywhere. Our own creations have not been able to complete. We are being slaughtered, but we are Shapers. We will never bow to creations. We will make stronger servants, stronger magic, and we will prevail against them. If our world is made into a burnt husk, we will still be the masters of it." With a signal, the guards advance, clap you in irons. You struggle, a nimbus of hot fire surrounds your hands. The Triad observes the uncontrollable rage that consumes you with great interest. There are too many of them. They take you away. You are shackled in a cot in one of the camp tents, under close observation. You wait calmly, knowing that things are finally out of your control. There is a certain peace in that. You do not wait long. The Shapers are not given much time to prepare their army. The rebels find the camp, and within hours, a force of Drakes and Rotgroth attack. As you listen to the screams and explosions, the Guardian of the Triad enters the tent. He has a dagger in his hand and says, "We are lost, but they will not have you. They will not have you. You at least will." Then a Rotgroth, chasing him, takes off his head with a single blow. Kari Blaze's messengers traveled ahead of you. The rogues know who you are, what your purpose is. As the few surviving soldiers are hunted down and destroyed, you are taken to Porifa. And that's a cute little thing I'm playing with. Although, that's... yeah. Maybe I was a lady. You are marched through, I guess the, plot true, like the character that was plot specifically supposed to go through this campaign was an agent. That's what I'm guessing. You are marched through the ruins of Porifa. This once proud and loyal town is now in ruin. The city was left standing, though, and has been taken over by the victorious rebels. You are about to the Great Hall, where 3 servile cultists wait for you. Your heart sinks. You know these creatures are filled with a passionate hatred for all your kind, whatever you say or do. But then they surprise you. These 3 freeborn serviles walk towards you, and one after another bow to you. One of them says, "Shaper, you are the first and probably the last of your kind that I have given such respect to. You have used our canisters and let us shape you. You have taken our magic and our ideas and put them in yourself. Kari Blaze has made a pronouncement. Those freeborn creations who choose to be commanded by you as soldiers, not slaves, may do so. You will lead us. We will help you make our rebellion happen. We 3 were the first, but there are many more. We will be your army, Shaper. We await your command." And so your war begins. You are all too aware of the power of the Shapers. They will not be complacent for long. They will make stronger creations. They will adapt. They will never surrender. You set out immediately to root out the Loyalists wherever they are. And, as you travel, you find that the rebels have had more success than you had imagined. You find village after village burnt out and destroyed, ruined forests, collapsed mines, swarms of vicious rogues hunting for agent spies. Every settlement is given the chance to expel its Shapers to avoid destruction. Not all of them make that choice. The Ashen Isles and Porifa are your base of operations. You fight many battles. You are always victorious. Sometimes your forces fight alone. Sometimes they are aided by Drakons, the mighty spawn who survived the ordeal of the Geneforge. And yet, victory never comes. An area cleared of Shapers 1 week has Loyalist creations roaming around the next. The researchers are no longer complacent. Every week, newer and nastier varieties of creations join the war. But you have your goal. You have a purpose. You are a warrior fighting for freedom. Your choice is made. As the months pass, and then years, things happen on the Ashen Isles. And Canon and his rebels are given control of the island, an unexpected reward for their brave rebellion. They live surprisingly long, happy lives, or as happy as a life as possible in that dank swamp. Then there was Donnell's Isle. Once the Creator was repaired, it lost no time in flooding Donnell's Isle with powerful creations. Loyalist forces did their best to hold them back, but holes kept appearing in their lines, and monsters kept slipping through. Then the Geneforge was completed and the Drakons arrived. The remaining Loyalist forces collapsed and the island was taken by rogues, and Kari Blaze had Donnell's Keep razed to the ground out of spite. Gull Island was surprisingly peaceful given the tumultuous state of the rest of the world. With Agatha, Kyric, and the other Shapers dead, the Serviles maintained control. They maintained an uneasy peace with the Drakes, kept a low profile, and just tried to live peaceful lives. At first it didn't seem like things would be that way, but an outsider, a trainee who had failed to become an agent, came there, unbidden, and befriended the Serviles. Since she was not actually a Shaper, they took her in, and eventually found her counsel to be useful. It was her calm words that helped the Serviles and Drakes work together to settle their growing differences. Since Gull Island only really acted as a waypoint for goods being smuggled to the Isle of Spheres anyway, Everyone was happy to ignore it. It was just another remote rock in the ocean, and happy to stay that way. The Isle of Spears became the pole star of the rebel army, the great secret and hope. Every Dracon went there to endure the trial of the Geneforge. Many died, unable to withstand its power. But the ones who survived became Dracons, mighty killing machines, designed to devastate the Shapers. The Shapers tried, but they could not secure that remote island. Many an infiltrator died on the isle's icy shores before they could do the slightest harm. And in a fortress high in the mountains far from the Ashen Isles, a lone Dracon watches. And he smiles. He stares into a pool. He built it. It shows images from far away. It shows the movements of his armies, and he sees what they see. He sees many victories and many defeats, but he sees one assault after another turned aside by the Shapers. But that is alright. There's always another year and another idea, and with each passing day the Shapers are more worn down. Galdring sits in his fortress and watches. The Geneforge is good, the Dracons are good, but he needs more power, and he will have it soon, somehow. Galdring, Lord of the Rebellion, mightiest of Dracons, smiles. It is going to be a long, hard war, and he is ready. The end. Well, that was exciting. Don't you guys think? Well, I suppose next time look forward to Geneforge 4. We're running out of Geneforges. And the fireballs just kind of come on their own. Anyway, that was pretty cool. I like the fact that I didn't get killed by the council. Oh, they tried to kill me, but apparently the Rotgraf's hand was stronger than that Guardian's neck. Anyway, that's all for this time, guys. You all take care, okay? I will talk to you later on. Bye-bye for now. Calm down, fireballs. Jeez.